Oh, yeah. Yes.
Just like the advisory council, same thing.
Okay, before we begin, we'd like to let everyone know that this is being recorded and it can be for at a later date, so watch your words. All right, it's all yours.
Good evening. CB13 Transportation Committee meeting. We have a big agenda ahead of us. We have a few presentations, but I would like to start with a presentation of a new Transportation Committee member, Mr. Mark Santos. Maybe you could say a couple of words about this.
Yes, hi, Mark. Newly appointed this year to the community board. I've been living in Coney Island for 12 years. But I'm from the area, Sheepshead Bay. Excited to be part of this team.
Welcome
Welcome.
We're the best committee.
Don't tell me later.
We're just saying we put 13%.
Okay.
Elena might have something to say about.
Fighting words.
So our first item on the agenda would be the street nominating.
Very simple.
Wait, sorry.
It's a package that you have there that is Jack the Barber. He did come before the board 2 years ago in June. And what happened was we pretty much approved him, but the only problem was he did not meet the 3-year criteria of it. So he had to wait till this past May 6th, which was a week ago, where his father-in-law passed away, and now he is eligible to have a street named after him. So if you want to read, you can read. He was a barber that worked in there. No, because we basically really approved it during the general board meeting, but we told him that we really couldn't do it because of the time-wise, but he will be at the full board again.
Okay.
So, yeah, and they came by, Pat Singer, gave a speech about how he helped the area, and I
His
think
daughter
was it-
made very
Yes.
emotional speech on that.
yes, it was very emotional. So, I guess what you can do at this point is to make a motion to approve it.
Could we just
No,
let Mark,
sure.
because he
Yes.
probably didn't.
Yes, you were
that.
here 2 years ago. That's
Yeah.
it. Yes.
So basically, they will keep the same name, but under it is going to be another name. So this year or this time, we're looking at the application for one of the barbers to work on Coney Island, and looked like he was a beloved person.
In Brighton Beach.
In Brighton Beach.
Brighton Beach.
In Brighton Beach, yes, but it's a part of our district anyways. So he was serving the disabled children, and he was doing a lot of volunteer services. And basically, his family made we have to by rule that they have to collect the petitions. I think 150 petitions they collected, and it's on the back. I was sent to you, I believe, during the week. So there's people who live in the district that sign it. It's 150 people. So he met the criteria. He got his bio, he got his petition, and he had family members introduce it. So right now we're going to make a motion to approve it, because committee always does a positive motion. Mark, right? Am I right?
Yes.
It's our parliamentarian. So we're gonna make a motion. Somebody will make a motion, not me, about street naming if we approve it. So if you say yes, that's going to be from everybody. If everybody approves it, we're going to submit it to the board, and the board in full will also vote on that.
You know how to explain it very well.
Easy, you're right.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So who would like to make a motion?
I'm making a motion.
And second? Oh, no. She had to say.
The street would be Brighton Beach and Brighton 13th
Yeah.
Street as Jack the Barber Skolnick Way. So that's the words that gonna appear on the little.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Jack the Barber Skolnick Way.
It's gonna be street or way?
Wait.
Wait,
Yes.
but it says street.
That's what they
Wait.
put in.
Okay, so that's my motion. Anybody want? I will second.
Okay,
No, just a second.
let's make a vote.
Okay, vote.
Okay.
Barbara. Okay, call it.
Rowena,
Yes.
Angela,
Yes.
Nadra,
Yes.
Maladras, Mark,
Yes.
Okay, and we also have on audio on screen is Barbara. Barbara, what is your vote? You got unmute.
Yes.
Okay, all right, unanimous. Thank you,
I
Barbara.
thought people who are all online.
They can't count
You
towards
can-
quorum, but they can vote. Yes.
Okay.
Not at the general board
Yeah.
meeting. but the committee meeting.
Oh, really?
Hi.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Good to know.
Okay, all
Are
right.
you lucky?
Now we're moving on to the next, congratulations to the
DOT,
family.
come on down.
Yeah, now you.
Come on down. Let me see. We get your stuff up. Share. Yes. Okay. And then let's see. Gonna go all the way back down. Sorry, guys. Just
Did you,
gonna
while we're
close this.
preparing to presentation,
Mhm.
is that the same study, based on the same study that at some point community board was requesting, or is something different?
They can answer
Oh,
it,
they
I
can
guess. Yes, they can answer this. All right, all yours.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
you matched the mic.
Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone. My name is Harvey LaRue. I am a project manager in the Traffic Engineering and Planning Division at DOT. With me tonight, Derek from the Borough Commissioner's Office and Joe Lee, also from our same division. We have been conducting the Coney Island Transportation Study, a very long area-wide study. While that's being conducted, we have developed this short-term improvement, which we are presenting to you tonight. The study itself, we are looking to bring to the community in June. We're looking at the fourth week of June to present the existing conditions. And then at the end of this year, we would look at the future conditions and the full set of recommendations. There's going to be a lot more than just this. This is a short-term recommendation, which we are looking to implement in 2026 while we are conducting the study. Okay, so let's get into the study now. It is the Brighton 11th Street SIP. Brighton 11th Street, go ahead to the, keep going. Brighton 11th Street is in Brighton Beach. Two-segment corridor between Cass Place in the north and Brighton Beach Avenue in the south. It's a two-way street, 44 feet wide, okay? Next slide. And one more. The issue that we're having on this corridor is double parking. A lot of double parking on this corridor. It came up to DOT from the community board back in 2018, I believe.
Yes.
Was a previous request. DOT looked at it at that time and decided that the accessibility of the corridor was better being a two-way street. We came back and we have been looking at it. Basically, we did two parking surveys on the corridor. We've been looking at it for the better part of a year, since it take a long time to implement. We conducted parking surveys, and from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., this is where we're seeing the double parking. We see a large amount of double parking along the corridor, focused on three areas, okay? The first area is in the north, right just south of Cass Place. This double parking is basically associated with the adult daycare, which is on the west curb, and dialysis center, which generates a lot of vans and ambulettes. And then on the east curb, you've got a small school, which has been there for about 3 years, the Brooklyn School of Excellence. They just started operating school buses there. When I called them before we did this, they said, no, we don't have any. And then we did the survey a week later and they had school bus. So it's very new that they have a school bus. The next section that we identified a lot of double parking is just south of Ocean View Avenue. This particular location has commercial businesses on both sides. Both of them are generating double parking, which can constrain the moving lane down to one lane at that location. And then the third location is just north of Brighton Beach Avenue. You have shopping marts on both sides of the street. On the west curb, that is a 4 or 5 story building. Those 5 stories are filled with businesses, from churches to medical offices, and the entrance is right there on Brighton Beach Avenue. And we'll go through each one now. Go ahead and go forward. This is the one most north. So here we are at Cass Place looking south towards Brighton Beach Avenue.
Yeah.
And you can see here the ambulettes, which are parked right in front of the daycare, of the adult daycare. You can see this van who's doing some deliveries. And then here, what you're seeing here is the drop off or the pickup actually at 2:30 for schools. And right behind them, you can see the school bus. He's sitting there waiting behind all those parents. So what happens is when this at 2:30, your worst time in this location is about between 2 and 3 o'clock. And you can see that it's very hard. You've got these vehicles waiting to get through. It's down to one lane. The vehicles can't really pass. This clears up really after 3 o'clock, after the school goes through. The ambulettes continue till 7 p.m. But generally, this condition happens between 2 and 3 p.m. Okay. The second one is just south. Go ahead to the next slide. This is just south of Ocean View. We're looking south again towards Brighton Beach Avenue. And you can see the businesses here. We have, I believe, a veterinarian's office, laundromat, and several other businesses. And then on this side, we have a couple of bodegas. These bodegas generate an amount of children which are going to the school, which is 1 block away during before and after school. And both of the sides of the business do generate double parking. You can see it here on the west curb and on the east curb as well. This location, the double parking was a little longer duration than the other two. People, I think, feel a little more comfortable leaving their cars here for a longer period of time or whatever it is. But this location, the double parking is a little more long term. The third location, go ahead to the next slide, is down here at Brighton Beach Avenue. And as I mentioned, you've got grocery
Oh, I wonder what that is.
grocery markets on both sides.
Yeah.
This is the 4 or 5 story business. This is the entrance to that business at the blue awning. A lot of vehicles stop right here. They pick up or drop off persons which are going into this business, and then they turn around. A lot of them are doing U-turns looking for short-term parking. This is all metered parking right here, and a lot of them will find parking in the short term, or they continue on. And so, yeah, those are the 3 locations where we identified focus areas for double parking on the corridor. Okay, so what are we going to do about it? What is our proposal? Okay, right here. We are proposing to convert Brighton 11th Street between Ocean View Avenue and Brighton Beach Avenue to one-way southbound. Okay, when we do that, we're able to increase the short and the long-term parking by installing back-in angled parking. We increase the parking supply on this corridor, on that segment. Now, the question is, why don't we just do both segments as one-way southbound? Couple of reasons. Now, I mentioned that the adult daycare and the school that are here are the main, I won't say culprits, but they're the main reason why we see the double parking. Neither one of those will use angled parking. So the uses that are there, the reason that you're seeing all the double parking on the north side, those are not uses that would use angled double parking. Difficult to clear those up. Both of them are based on the operations that are going on there. Additionally, these small houses here, a lot of curb cuts. We can't put angled double parking there because of the amount of curb cuts which are on the corridor. The only place we could do it is in this larger residential building down to here. It's about 200 feet. That's a possible place where we could do it. But the problem is it would leave all of this very wide, 44 feet, which is what I said. When it's not packed with double parking on the nights and after your PM, it's wide, it would have speeding if we made it one way. So that's generally why we don't do a wide road as a one-way street. And then, okay, continuing. Access onto the corridor is better if we leave this as two-way. There's about 25 vehicles in the morning and 20 vehicles in the PM, which are coming westbound and turning onto the corridor. So where would they go? What would be the detour for them? If they're coming from they're going westbound on Brighton Beach Avenue, they could come all the way up here and all the way down to access it. Or leaving this two-way, they could come up Brighton Beach Avenue and access it on Ocean View. I'm sorry, Brighton 12, thank you. And access it on Ocean View, turning either south or north from there. If both blocks were southbound, they would have to come all the way up to Cass Place. Now, Cass Place has a concrete median on it. Because of the length, the distance between Neptune Avenue and Brighton 11th, we can't cut that concrete, we can't cut an entrance there, which would require the vehicles to do a U-turn on Neptune Avenue to come back down. So we do need access there. And then the final reason is that K through 12 school. Generally, when there's a school on a corridor, you want to have the access for the school bus on the passenger side. Okay, which means they need to be going northbound to have access to that school. This is why we've selected this option. So what would we do with the south block? Let's look at the parking plan for the south block. That's the next slide. Okay, this is a little bit of a different angle, sorry, but Ocean View is here. And then we're coming southbound down to Brighton Beach Avenue here. At Brighton Beach Avenue, we're looking to install a painted curb extension to shorten the pedestrian crossing at that intersection.
Excuse me.
And then
Sorry, you said painted.
painted, yes,
Not-
not concrete because the,
All right, Think I didn't hear.
yeah, painted,
Go ahead.
the drainage issues.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't hear what.
Okay, cool. Painted curb extension. This section here, 250 feet, that is currently metered parking. We're not changing anything there. The exact same space would be metered parking, back in angled parking. Okay, by doing that, that would give us, we have currently 13 spaces. This would increase the angled metered parking to 26. You double the angled metered parking. That's short-term parking. A lot of that would be used 2-hour metered. It's the exact same regulations that it is now. 2-hour metered between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. except Sunday. Street cleaning regulations at other times. Nothing on the regulations would change. It's just we're increasing the capacity by making it angled metered. Then we have an entrance into a garage, and then from there we have 3 different sections. The first section is 176 feet of back-in angle parking. This would not be metered. It would be, free parking on the block. 16 spaces, street cleaning, no parking Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9:30. Then from there, we have a 100-foot neighborhood loading zone. Okay, neighborhood loading zones are used to allow deliveries, curb access. The reason it's here is because this is where the largest residential unit is. It's a very large residential building, over 100 units. Those 100 units generate a lot of packages. The neighborhood loading zone can be used from anything from short-term loading and unloading of passengers, of loading and unloading of packages and whatnot. And this is important because if we install this angled parking, it's 20 feet. The parking on the opposite side that's already there, that's 8 feet. So 20 and 8, 28 feet leaves you a 16-foot moving lane. That's big enough for 2 cars to get by, but anything bigger than a car, like a Amazon van that's stopped and delivering packages to a large residential building, blocks other Amazon vans, and then you get all the honking that happens. This is why we are installing the neighborhood loading zone to keep that from happening in that section in front of the largest residential. The last segment here, 126 feet, 13 more back-in angled parking spaces, exactly the same as this one. Both of those are free parking. This would take the existing parking, free parking, from 22 spaces to 29. So you're an increase of non-metered parking of 7 spaces, an increase of metered parking of 13 spaces, total increase is 20 spaces, approximately. This is not the final design. We might win or lose a space or 2 as they develop that final design. And I think that is.
Yep, and
That
that's
is
it.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
There is, Sam, I'm speaking at the transit part. When you mentioned the one right there, about when you mentioned Amazon, we also have accessorized people getting dropped off.
Mhm.
So we gotta remember, we're not leaving out accessibility.
Yeah, that they can use that.
Yeah,
That's
can we,
based.
can we just make sure we have that added into your notes, because
Sure.
in that area, people get very panicky
Mhm.
and sensitive, so we have to make sure, because you do have a heavy load of accessorized.
Yeah.
And we do have, I know there's car stores over there, they like to do those U-turns,
Mhm.
and we do see drag race. When you're on Brighton Beach Avenue, over there, and I was glad you guys did a really good procedure. The B1 bus is trying to get into the next stop for the train station.
Mhm.
Those cars are like, get it, they're like, don't respect the bus or the accessorized if they're trying to get in. So that's something that a lot of people are gonna have to understand. If they're gonna add a curb and adding this, you're gonna have to also show the courtesy to the bus and the accessorized.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So on this
Okay.
stretch, do you have currently free parking spaces?
Yeah.
Yes. This is the only metered.
No, not on your proposal.
Yeah, on the
Existing.
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 This stretch here is metered. Everything else is free.
13 parking.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
13 metered parking spaces. Everything else is free parking on that block.
So you adding 29 free parking spaces.
We're adding 7. There is currently 22.
Oh, you added 22,
Yeah, we're adding 7 to the 22 for the.
and you adding 13
Okay.
to 26, so you double metered. Okay, so I have a question about parking that somebody who couldn't make it to the meeting asked me to ask, and I know it's not your territory, but there is a train tracks in parallel to the street. So I don't know what's under the train. Maybe it looks like that area is not used. Is there ever a possibility to use it as a parking?
You're talking about the?
Under trusses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't, you, okay.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like such a big stretch of
Yeah.
properties that, okay. This, yeah.
Yeah, right there, right there. It says MTA.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
all that.
It's hard only because if you designate it as a parking lot, then you have to go into insurance and maintaining it, and that, I don't know if MTA is going to do it. Yeah. I wrote that. Well, now you have 13 more meter one, so which is a good thing, but it doesn't solve everything, but it is a good suggestion for what DOT might have to talk to MTA about this, because never say never, because Heim Deutsch did do at that time. So you have to get the right people at the right elected official. So you can talk about it, and but that's not, but we can always mention that. Yeah.
Also, did, and they did a couple months ago. Because Nick told you that too. Under there, they have to sooner or later have to do some work.
Oh, sure.
Because
Definitely.
because where you're looking at the cars now,
Mhm.
dumb cars cannot fit up there that high. Because remember, the train is not, it's as the train is going. the
Okay,
ground is going
maybe
up a
that's the
little.
reason, I don't know.
It's an issue because once they go in there,
Yeah.
there's the only way you can go in and out Neptune Avenue.
Oh,
You cannot
that's it.
do
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
because once you
hard to
under,
turn,
and
yeah.
one thing, it was hard enough years ago, homeless was going over it too. And I don't wanna remind what other things are in there, cause their lady here might be screaming. But the perception that it's a safety, but sooner or later, they have to work under there sooner or later to make sure that part of the Brighton line, which is a really old part of when it just becomes the railroad.
Yeah.
If you look in the history, that part of the track was not existent, it used to join with Coney Island Airport, what was another line.
So if I may add, certain streets are not mapped to the city, like I think it's West 6 or West 26. I've been going back and forth with that. But currently partial of, I believe it's 26 is actually mapped to the city and partial of it isn't. We recently redid a lot of the roads over here in CB 13 and we did partial of that street. And a lot of people were in uproar, why did we only paid partial of the street?
Right.
That's all we own.
Right,
Technically, we don't legally own the other portion of that
Right.
street. So it can be given over, but we're talking.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
just a theoretical question,
Okay.
but yeah, that's the good.
Okay. So we Greg coming in. Zoom.
Thank you, Eddie. I actually have a whole bunch of questions, so you can cut me off whenever you want and circle back to me if other people have questions as well. I was the one that wrote the letter in October of 2019. Community Board 13 adopted a resolution in December of 2019 calling on DOT to do a study of this based on the safety issues that we've observed in the community. And so 7 years later, we're really glad to see you, DOT, out here with some solutions. My first question is, the neighborhood loading zone, is that going to be a new one, or is that going to be the one relocated from Brighton 12th Street?
No, it's totally new. It has nothing to do with the Brighton 12th Street loading zone.
Okay, because the Brighton 12th Street loading zone is never used as a loading zone, and it's not enforced by the local precinct, and nobody's requested enforcement of it. I have tons of pictures. Every time I walk by there, I take a picture. It's always occupied with parked vehicles. Frankly, it's not needed there. The signage is confusing. Why can't we just consider this a relocation of the Brighton 12th Street one?
My understanding is that that one has been removed.
Has been
Yes.
removed. Okay, great.
Yes.
That's good news. Second question. Originally, I had proposed that the southernmost portion of the east curb on Brighton 11th Street be set aside as a taxi stand because most of the cars out there belong to Showtime, the car service that has a base of operations right there. I know you did this for me years ago on Fifth Avenue and 9th Street in Park Slope. We had a similar situation where you put a taxi stand in front of a car service base of operations. Is that something that could be considered here?
We looked, when we watched the video, we didn't see a lot of use from that car service. I watched 2 separate days And I was aware that the car service was there. We didn't see a lot of use from that car service. Whether they're just signaling their drivers from other places, I didn't see them parked in front.
Can I comment on that? Yeah, that car service is not there anymore.
Oh,
They moved the office.
Oh,
okay.
that's wonderful. All right, two things we check off the list. Third issue, the alignment at the intersection of Brighton 11th and Brighton Beach Avenue is not a typical one. It's not a perpendicularly oriented intersection. Is there some way that you can straighten out the crossings so that they would be shorter in size, even shorter than with the neck down, to make them perpendicular?
This, if you look right here, there's very little space on that curve. That's something we did look at. Basically, we would bring this a little more at a 90-degree angle. But the loading zone that's necessary for the two grocery stores, there's only 65 feet here. That's followed by 70 feet of ambulette, no parking anytime otherwise, and then I believe it's a church.
Church. Yeah.
Yeah, there's very
Yeah.
Church and then the synagogue.
Oh,
there's very little space there to do
Yeah,
that.
I was
kind of
also
angle.
referring to the crossing across Brighton Beach Avenue in that intersection.
Well, this one's also difficult because you have one lane and it's not shown on this picture.
In the
But,
south
yeah.
leg. In the south leg.
Yeah, you have one lane coming, what is that, eastbound? Yeah, right down here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really tight. We were looking to do some various things, maybe put in a pedestrian island, but the space that's there is very constraining with the volume that's there. We did evaluate several alternatives at that location.
Unless you have a big one, but.
Okay, and then moving back to the intersection at Ocean View, one of the problems there is a daylighting condition, and I didn't see any clearances other than the one new one that you'd be creating with the angled parking. I know it's not part of the leg that you're working on, but for the school kids in the morning especially, we've requested a crossing guard from the local precinct, but they don't even have enough bodies to fill the existing posts. So we're not getting one anytime soon.
That
Is there-
intersection is now an always stop.
Sorry?
That intersection just very recently, can you move forward to the design? That intersection just recently changed to an always stop. So it's no longer an enhanced crosswalk on Brighton 11th. It now has stops. Keep going,
Okay.
forward. That one. Right
Oh, okay.
There you
yeah.
go. So over here on Ocean View Avenue, this is now an always stop. The markings, this is very recent. The markings have not been installed for the crosswalk, but okay, so I guess what you're saying is on the far side, you feel that they should have no stopping anytime. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
the kids are all headed to that corner bodega in the morning, and then they're headed
Yeah.
to school. It's just a generally busy intersection, especially in the morning hours.
Yeah. We can evaluate. I feel like there may be a reason why we didn't do any additional no standing, but we'll evaluate that particular curve. But like I said, this did just recently change, and you could see on the southeast curve, we do have 60 feet approximately of no stopping anytime, which is a daylighting method.
All right, wonderful. And how do I get a hold of this presentation?
We will upload it to our projects page in the next few days. And then we'll let the community board know. But yeah, as a member of the community board, you will know. Yeah.
Okay. Any
Wonderful.
other questions? Sure.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I was just waiting to see how many of my items Craig had already done, so I got. Okay. Your daylighting is only gonna be on the, I'll say west, not on the east side.
This here.
No, the
Here.
right Beach Avenue.
So this is just a curb extension. I mean, it's not really daylighting, but it keeps.
Because it's also just painted,
Yeah,
which means it's completely ignored.
we can't do concrete because of the drainage issues there. It would be a 5-year or more
Talk about capital.
capital project. Yeah, it would be a very long-term project.
Zone.
Can I have a follow-up on that?
One. Are you,
You wanna, I'll yield if you
Okay.
want to discuss the daylighting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the south, on that south curb where you can't do the concreting, I understand the drainage issue, but this neighborhood doesn't really well, let's just say the sticks don't last very long in the ground. Is
Mhm.
there some way that we could put either a boulder or a large planter or some other object in that area that would preclude any vehicles from using it at all? Because if you look at what happens at Coney Island Avenue and Brighton Beach Avenue, you've put rumble strips in there, you've put all sorts of devices in there, and within a month, they're just destroyed by the cars. I don't expect that any sticks are going to last very long there at all.
the problem with putting something like a boulder here is, street cleaning. We need a certain amount of space, otherwise we need a community partner who would clean the space themselves. And that requires insurance.
It is
and a
cleaned
lot-
by the Brighton Beach bid.
Okay, that may be
That's part
something
of
we
their
can look
catchment
into.
area. They're out there sweeping every day. They have people on the ground doing that.
Okay, then you know what? We can look into that and see if we can do something with a little more permanence there if the bid is willing to take on that space.
Yeah, I don't think it would be anything extra on their part because they're already out there doing that.
Okay, we can look into that.
Great.
What?
So I'm gonna continue on, I'm gonna continue on. Something led to me to believe you're gonna put more muni meter spots, or you're not, it's all gonna be, the angles are all gonna be free except the one at the south
The
end,
existing space that's there now, yeah.
so that's fine, all right. We don't have it in 13, but 8 already has the Empire bins for sanitation.
Mhm.
Now, I realize that's not your department, it is my committee, but it's not your department. The one that's displayed, the left arrow, it's pretty close to where I live, across the street.
Mhm.
Pretty much right there. You're gonna lose 3 spots, 4 spots. Your loading zone.
Yeah.
That building is gonna need more than 3 Empire bins.
My understanding from our recent conversation, unless we're talking about something different, is these are for the more than 40, is that correct? More than 40 units? Do you remember
No,
this
they're more
conversation?
than 9 units, they stopped.
Okay,
But there's CB8 is the test in Brooklyn. There's
Yeah.
one district in each of the boroughs that
Yeah.
is already on these Empire bins.
you're right, we would lose parking
Yeah,
spaces. It's
including
likely
your-
no loading zone. It's
Yeah.
100 feet. Generally, when we do a no loading zone, we're talking 60. Because this angle into there, it's very different than most no loading zones. Most of them are on with curb parking. So we
Right.
said, let's put 100 feet for the transition that can also possibly be used for those bins to try to soften some of that.
So for sanitation is gonna put them in the street. And that could always change, but there's not a lot of room on the sidewalk if you
Yep.
have these monster bins, plus they're designed for a sanitation truck that will saddle up to them and
Yep.
up and over the side. They're not empty by humans. Said nothing about, so I'm wondering, you're gonna lose both where that arrow is that on the left of the screen, that's across from me, that's 149. They would probably only need 2.
Mhm.
It's, I think 62 units in that 10 stories. Your 125, which is where you have the 3 arrows, if you will, in the
Yep.
loading zone, yeah, that's twice the width building.
Yeah.
So,
It is what it is. What they need to do, they'll need to do, and it will probably take the space of parking, but that's in the future going forward. It's not something that we've had direct coordination with. We are aware of the situation, yes.
all right. 44 feet, kind of narrow. This morning, I'm sitting on my porch having coffee, solving the world's issues with my next door neighbor, till we ran out of coffee and got cold. And if somebody were to U-turn, which is constant, because although I'm residential, all sides of me are offices of varying kinds, including a company that ships to Georgia the country, not the state. And they are constant. Double park, run in, put whatever. Plus the doctor's office immediately to the south of me that has people park. When they park in my driveway, I just call 911 and get rid of them. Across the driveway, I call 311 and get them. Convince them how bad an idea that is.
Yeah.
The point is, people, you turn, they're already hitting, by the time they hit my curb, they were already hitting where the current double park, the current double yellow is. Obviously, it won't be there anymore because it's gonna be a one-way street. Point is, there's that much. And so, on the far side, I'm just looking this morning, there's barely one car to get through. And off your map, 2 blocks is the local firehouse, which screams down our block because it's an easy, fast turn from where they go. They're only going 2 blocks against traffic, but you're gonna move for a fire truck. And they're full sirens, full steaming, and then head to east. It's a problem. So I don't see 44 feet being enough room.
Where's fire department? Which street?
Banner,
On the banner.
you won't see it on that map.
So it's,
Guidance,
They
right now.
reverse direction one way on
okay, so
Guider, I
Yeah,
think it
guy
is.
is there.
And then cross and you'll go up Brighton 11th Street.
Yep.
Or
so are
actually
you,
south on Brighton
are you
11th,
saying they go in Brighton 11th? They take
Yes.
Brighton 11?
Yes. full speed. And then turn right at the corner and head to points east. From there.
44 feet is the minimum width, national guidelines for doing this type of design.
Yeah.
We follow.
And if people would pay attention,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
yeah.
But it's the same as it is now.
In your thing, in whatever your studies were, is the area opposite that left red arrow. All of those offices have double park all day long.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found a time that they were on like presentations, because see, there's no traffic. We have all day. There's that one shipping company, they bring a truck in the morning and they just stay. Yeah, you're not really gonna see it in any of those photos, because I'm further
You're
down.
further down.
We're the,
Yeah. In between. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, well, there's a lot more and they stay.
As it is now, the fire truck has no chance.
Yeah.
That's the point, is
Right.
kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's bad now. It gets down to one lane, and especially as it gets down to Brighton Beach Avenue, right?
Yeah,
Where the vehicles which are going southbound will often just come into the northbound lane because they can't get
well,
through it.
there's actually a cement curb across Brighton Beach Avenue,
No, you can't see it.
1.5 feet wide or so, that stops it. It doesn't stop fire trucks, and your complaint about Cass Place, cutting out
U-turn.
that, it didn't used to be there.
Yeah,
It's, and I have seen plenty of cars just to drive right over it to the detriment of their
car, yeah,
alignment or whatever.
yeah.
So I'm just,
I
My
would bet
opinion,
that the
44 feet is,
it is,
I'm definitely in favor of one way. We have it on Coney Island Avenue, which is right around the corner there, going south to the beach. Wonderful, but that's more in the 100-foot wide street, and it doesn't represent much of a problem.
I think what they, I think, 13 more spaces, we're hoping that it will cut down or even eliminate in all the
Yeah.
double park.
50-50. No personal offense, you're in la la land.
No.
13, it's 20 more spaces, you're adding 13.
Yes.
Plus seven.
Yeah,
The point is, I mean, people have they're going into the doctor. They are gonna park right there. Even, we'll have somebody double parked on, in your diagram, this side, and they're dropping or going to the apartment building directly across from me. There might be a spot that they won't go in. They have to double park right in front. All of which is to say, enforcement is a problem, and I know that's not your department. It's a problem, and I rail against it at the precinct meetings every month. And our 60th precinct guys are great. For a day or two, there'll be enhanced enforcement or whatever you want to call it. And that was a week
maybe.
and a half ago.
Let's
I think
just
that-
So
address
let's
question.
start again.
Likely this behavior is not gonna change and we will not be able to resolve it on this
Yeah.
meeting.
I'm
But we
just
have
saying,
another
yeah,
question.
I just
Comment.
wanted to like, angle parking, it's gonna make it work.
Right.
All right, I'm.
Yep.
Craig answered, asked many of the other questions I had, so.
We have Mark.
Yes,
Start the question.
Sure.
I'm unfamiliar with the problems of this street, but I do know the street. When coming up with the solution, did you look at, are there streets similar somewhere in the city where this solution was implemented and it did in fact reduce double parking and all that? Or is this like very particular solution to this street based on however you did your parking survey? And I'm also interested, how did you do your parking survey? 311 data,
No.
like accident report?
Video. We did the video ourselves, installed it, 5 of them on both blocks, walked it over the course of 2 days and counted. If you move forward, I'll show you real quick. It's kind of fun.
These are kind of
Two more.
anomalous.
No, forward all the way past the ends.
Oh, there you go.
One more.
Whoosh.
This is actually the survey. And
Okay.
you can see specifically, all of the blue is double parked or illegal cars, the orange is the double parked or illegal trucks,
Yeah.
specifically by hour, and the parking maneuvers, which are made on each of the 4 segments. Here, we're not talking about doing anything because it's very low, but we did the survey ourselves. We did all the counts ourselves. Specific to like the solution, it's just a general solution to say if you increase the short-term parking, it will decrease the double parked vehicles. You are correct. Some of them are not going to do it, but over time, and this is what we did see, a lot of those pickups and drop-offs would then U-turn to use the metered parking as it was available. If it's not available, maybe they go elsewhere. If they know there's no elsewhere, they do sit in front. But a lot of them who were picking up and dropping off, or specifically dropping off, they would U-turn and into the meter parking. You can see that. It's right here in number 3. The 184 double parked vehicles over the course of 9 hours. 78 parking maneuvers. That was 78 vehicles that did a U-turn and parked in those metered parking. That was the highest amount of parking maneuvers where we had the short-term metered parking. So it does something.
So we're gonna flush them down south. So they can't do the U-turn and then make them.
They would reverse into the
Okay.
parking as best they can, and they would have to see it and be like, oh, I'm going to take that spot. Yes.
You said reverse in. I've seen like across from the Y, Coney Island Y, they want you only to back into
Yep.
the angle. I've been there a few times, 50-50, or straight in or back in. So are these gonna be, you need to go in,
Back in.
back in?
Yep, back in angle, because of the angle as you're driving forward, it's not 90 degree.
That's okay, I just question,
Yep.
not a.
Yep.
That's it.
Anybody?
Anybody else on Zoom that have a question?
Eddie, there was a question I have, just to
Good.
clarify, because when you mentioned Brighton 11, Coney Island Avenue, yes, I know you gotta paint it, but you do guys need to make sure that cut area, when you do the curb cut, must be secured, because even a pedestrian crossing, you got these cars like to make turns very fast, very dangerous, and almost hit a B1 bus. that's where the B one gets delayed, loses at least 6 minutes just to get into the stop of Brighton Beach.
Yep.
And when you're at it, Coney Island Avenue, if you look at the pictures, as I put into Community 113, MTA is aware of this too. Your buses can't even get in sometimes because it's like an obstacle course
Yep.
for them too. So we just gotta, when you guys are doing that one way, I hope something can be adjusted to make it clear to them to, keep them down.
Yeah, Coney Island, the short lane feeder between Coney Island, what it does, it often blocks this intersection. It creates a lot of frustration for the vehicles which are headed southbound, which is why they end up going in the opposite lane, try and find their way out of it. It's a difficult intersection, as is Coney Island and Brighton Beach Island, yes.
Do we think that there's gonna be an implication of so much traffic being built up? Going southbound to get to Coney Island Avenue, like to turn west to get to Coney Island Avenue? I don't know why I'm thinking that that's a potential implication.
It shouldn't add any volume to the southbound.
The only thing is, I know that everybody who wants to turn onto Coney Island Avenue, gets queued up and backs into, Brighton 11th Street. That might be a problem if that, I don't know how you solve it, but it's just, the clock, the timing on the light isn't quick enough. And if it is quick, you can't make it,
Yeah.
It's
the
not
turn.
necessarily the timing of the light.
Yeah, it's just
backup.
that, yeah, the backup, it's just
go
backup.
anywhere.
Yeah, it's congestion there. Yeah.
The problem
One
is-
thing they could do is actually eliminate the 3 parking spaces on the north curb of Brighton Beach Avenue and put a dedicated right turn lane in there. Because right now, those 3 parking spaces are costing everyone.
We could look at it. Those are used by the grocery store that's there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Sure.
something we
A
could-
dedicated right turn, that would be good.
It's definitely a comment that we'll take back.
Okay.
I have a
And the
last
thing is, we're trying to do, I think it's gonna take more than just DOT. We have to change the culture on Brighton 11. All the double parking, people are just used to that. There's no signage that we have at DOT that's even legal that says no double parking. So what we have to do is gonna take enforcement, but it's also gonna take a new design to possibly add more spots so that, again, people would know to go into it. But again, that's the culture. It has to change.
And
Okay. Yep.
one question, on your map, you have this proposed route going on 12th Street.
Go
And
back. One more.
yeah, that
12th Street here.
work, 12th Street and then Ocean View.
Yep.
There's a school.
Yep.
Right there.
20 vehicles
Well,
in an hour. So you're
Right.
talking about an
But
additional one every
early
2
morning and
minutes.
afternoon, there are stacked up buses. You're not getting through that area.
Okay,
School buses waiting for
Mhm.
pickups.
yeah.
I mean, the playground is now all parking.
Mhm.
You should say, the playground actually on it in grade school for 225 is now all parking. I don't begrudge the teachers parking. I'm just saying that they've had to eliminate outdoor recess in order to get teachers to show up at that school, otherwise they can't get teachers to come.
If the drivers find that to be a problem in multiple times, a couple of days where they try it and they go, oh, this isn't working. They come up and around. There's other ways to access the road. But yes, you are right. That is the preferred detour that probably Google would send you on. But once you go there twice and you realize that you're at 2:30 when there's buses everywhere,
Yeah,
maybe you determine that it's better to go this alternate route.
yeah. But they,
Just a sense.
okay, that was the only, I'm sorry, that was the only question I had. I hope this helps street cleaning and everything else if it's,
So nobody
if
else?
you in fact implement it.
Okay,
So thank you for the presentation. That was very nice and
We'll upload it. Yeah,
Yes.
project page, send
Thank
you
you.
a thing, and I think Derek might ask for a potential letter of support as we move forward. Okay, and like I said, the Coney Island Transportation Study, we are looking to bring that to the community in June. And we will notify the community board at that time.
The study, does it include, you said Coney Island, entire Coney Island from what to what?
It's
And
basically
peninsula,
board boundaries.
community board boundaries, and that's the study that you did for the last few years.
Yes, and it's been for a long time. Like I said, we're looking to do the existing conditions in June. And if we can, to wrap it up by the end of
We
this year.
can schedule an hour
No,
to come and
but-
conversation for 3 hours.
Sure, but this one, as you mentioned, if we could get a support letter, so if you want to vote on it tonight, just to hearing what you had heard, it's up to you to.
Are we
bring
doing
it-
a community or general meeting?
We need
No, no.
to have.
Yeah.
Somebody is opposing. we didn't
Exactly,
hear,
Okay.
like,
the general meeting.
Okay,
Will you be available at least on a Zoom if there's any questions at the general board meeting regarding?
it's-
the 20th, May 20th,
Is it a Tuesday?
Wednesday,
No, that's the May
the May meet, yes.
meeting.
So,
But letter support, how
Gonna have
soon
a
you
lot of-
need it?
If I'm not Joe could possibly be, I have to double check, but Joe's the code.
But how soon you need letter support? It
That's
should be done on May meeting or June meeting? That's what I'm trying to ask.
But it would be better to do it early, but if it has to push to June, you know,
So
it's
why
not
not
gonna be.
voting in May? You say.
okay, well.
Voting on letter of support for this particular solution
this-
on the,
Yeah.
on the right level, correct?
Yeah.
So that should be given at the general board meeting, there will be short discussion. That's why I asked the gentleman if anybody will be
Right.
available
Yeah.
in case if there's any question.
Okay.
And we probably will be good if we distribute it to community board members
Oh, yeah,
before the
sure.
meeting.
By that
So
time,
they
you
at
guys-
least study it
Yeah.
and they will be and recommend also to see this discussion on the YouTube
Yes.
and be prepared because we
Sure.
will have the same
Yeah,
discussion.
same
It's
discussion.
gonna be an hour of the same, so rather,
Right.
yeah.
So we defer that to the May meeting. And if there's any questions to that, hopefully the presenter will be able to answer it at that time.
Great.
You
Yeah.
can bring it up as new business then?
Oh, you could put it under, what do you call
No,
it?
if you could bring the letter. of
Yeah.
support,
You had to,
Committee
it's very- yeah,
has to-
yeah, first, that's
bring it
why.
To the full board. Otherwise,
And then you can change it, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we can't pull out support that we don't know if the general board
I agree.
supports it.
I agree with
But
you.
it's
Yeah,
up to
that's
us
correct.
now, what we think, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's not yet
Fully.
fully cogent.
If
Report.
we can recommend, because nobody objected, I could, I mean,
Do
it's a
you wanna
committee.
think that we need to do a formal vote on that?
For
A
support.
letter of support.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Like
should
you
do
don't-
a-
You don't have a thing to vote to letter of support on because as you mentioned, it's not yet, you're still
fully developed, that's what
Oh,
we.
this-
developing.
Yeah.
No, that's, the full development would be for a study. That's not this.
Okay.
That's
No.
all of Coney Island. This is a SIP, a
Just a
street
small
improvement project.
Okay, this project, and this is the final of the 11th Street
Yeah.
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Yes, we can vote for letter of support and then bring it to the.
Okay, so.
Okay.
anybody want to
Elementary
make
one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. All right, so, Angela,
The letter of support,
yes.
Approve,
To approve
letter
that,
of support.
yeah.
to approve that design and letter of support.
No, the design, of 11th Street,
Right on 11th Street and issue letter of support.
so who wants to second?
Another
Well, I'll
second.
go second. Okay, so, you can do the vote for that.
Lolita,
Yes,
Angela,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Nadra,
Yes.
Milagros.
Yes.
Oh, and Barbara?
Barbara.
Barbara, what did we
Yes.
say? Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, so, thank you very much, and what we'll do is we'll get the what do you call it, data from DOT, so we can pass it on to the board members, presentation, so that we can give it to the board members for our May meeting, so that they can read up on it, and if they don't know, they can also go on the YouTube, because it's all being recorded, and it's gonna be on our Facebook page too. So, thank you, DOT.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes. Oh, yes, you got it.
Thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Right?
The next topic will be our MTA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Would we want to start with Anthony?
Yes.
Never heard of him.
Anthony's a hot spot.
Oh, you don't know how, he's in the company.
He was, now he.
Let's see.
So just to bring everybody up to speed, so we brought some questions from the committee as a follow-ups from the previous meetings. And we sent it to Anthony, who is a representative from MTA, who we work very closely on that committee with. And he will update us on those issues that were coming from the prior meetings last year and this year as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right, good evening, everyone. Anthony Drummond from MTA New York City Transit Government Community Relations. Thank you very much again, Olivia, for the introduction. Yes, the committee sent over a few questions. Going to do just a follow-up for those questions here and then take any questions back. I know I'll touch on the big one first. Which I know this committee has been bringing up quite a bit since at least I've been with the Transit Authority regarding the noise issues with the trains at the West State Station. I did talk with our Maintenance Away MMOW committee, which in turn talked with our Capital Division. So I did send an email a couple of hours before this meeting started that they are just wrapped up today on the lubrication on the tracks heading north. Yeah, the Manhattan bound. I'll just say thank you. Manhattan bound on both the Culver line, which is the F, and the Bright line, which is the BQ. And
No, that's all the presentation.
No,
So that will be
that's
done.
fine. That's fine. We're just holding on to this.
Okay.
No. And in that lubrication that they did on those tracks, they install they call it resilient plates. So that those plates along with the lubrication is supposed to lower the frequency of the noise as the trains make the turn or coming in or switching. But at this point, because I know there was reports that's been done, I did inquire about that in the past 5 years. In addition to the work that they have been doing, when they wrapped up on that, on the installation of the plates as well as the lubrications on the tracks and the turns, that pretty much concludes the work that they've done or have been doing.
Why?
Okay.
But that was today. And then in addition, I did send a bunch and I was hoping one of them can join because it was a lot of data information, which I had sent over, but that was from the previous reports that you were alluding to, and inquiring from 2023 and 2024. I did inquire if they did one from this past year, 2025. They have not, but with the conclusion of what the work they did here at West State, they will be compiling something together, and we'll put out as soon as possible. So, I'll stop on this one and take questions.
So
Okay,
you're saying that there is not going to be any more of this track replacement continued, that they finished, right?
with the work of the noise, the issue.
No,
with
the track replacement. They were using our yard to put the track replacement on the B line, on the F line. So they finished with that, correct? Or they will continue track replacement?
You're talking over here.
Yeah,
Down in Brighton.
No. Here.
right here. On the corner.
West State.
On the one.
Right, say, no, there's no replacement going to it. That work was done. Well, I don't want to confuse the two.
Last weekend it was done. That
Okay,
was
so yeah, that was,
that concluded.
that's done.
Now, second question, are they going to, you said that something like before you were saying that they will be, you talking about lubrication. Is it going to be centralized lubrication that will be sent automatically, or is going to be the same as it used to be? It will be like a truck coming in.
Automated.
It's going to be automated,
That's an
right? That's what you're saying?
Correct.
Automate. Okay, just only, I want to clarify that.
2024, I read over. Yeah.
Okay, understood. I just want to clarify these two issues.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
on that,
Off on its own?
No.
Oh,
Like
I
that.
don't
To show how.
Oh.
The whole presentation. Yes, it's gonna be good.
Thank you for finishing the work. I'm looking forward to the quiet.
But you guys, in the area of Brighton Beach, and I did take pictures where they were doing the work.
Yeah, so they were doing a replacement to piggyback on this past weekend down Brighton Beach. They were doing track replacement on the express line for the B. So that was done.
Well, that's a little bit
Yeah.
quieter too. Right,
Yeah.
and Beach turn will, and they replaced in the brakes there too to composite from them. So is that, that's a question, is that gonna be quieter too, right? And
For
Beach
the
turn?
bright line?
Yeah,
It should be. I'm not sure if they're doing work. Their main work was over there because at the West Day,
okay.
due to the cutoff with two lines there, Culver and Brighton.
Do the people make the
It's
Because this is
still-
a great noise.
still-
Okay, so let's go to the next one.
Right, so the first one, and I think what I'll do is combine it because there was question about the status on the
Correct.
overcoat work. If any will lead to lead mitigation included and which was the status of track replacement, but when speaking with Eddie was the overcoat work. The West 8th line,
Yeah.
that's as you know, that has been unfortunately paused. Because the previous contractor that was doing the work on the line folded.
Commodore.
Commodore. yeah.
Commodore's folded, what
It's
does it
no
mean?
longer, that means they no longer exist, yeah. So they have projects not only there, but there was also some project work they were doing along the F near Kings Highway, I and P. So that had put us in a bind in terms of the work and obviously quite a bit of delay. As our construction and development team had to go back, review bids, and then we realized what Ahern, who was another contractor who's doing the overcoat work on the F line and doing it pretty well. Because I'm on their bi-weekly calls. It looks like they are going to take on this project here to complete it. And that was as recently as maybe 3 weeks ago.
So you
That-
don't know the projected timeline of that.
So now with them now coming on board, now they will have to, of course, come down to the assessment of the work that's already been done, where they need to fill in. Then we will have to come up and do a new timeline of the schedule. I asked that, well, I've talked with the project lead from Ahern quite a bit. So he is going to, and a couple of his team members will be coming down to this area to do a site assessment. I also asked too, once they do that, to be in touch with the community board because I would like them to come and present or speak to you guys so you will be familiar with them. And also to discuss the next phase of the work they will want to finish up as well as the timeline. Because we realized this was supposed to have been done last year.
I would
And
agree fully.
and then it was a back and forth with it was supposed to be complete in May. It was a back and forth over 3 months regarding a lot of the workers' pay issues, and then it just snowballed after that. And by September they were no more. So that just everything just halted at that point. But it is going to start back up because we realize that needs to be done and want to get that completed and moved out so that can be cleared up because that's been a very long
And
project.
that happens to Commodore because they didn't let us to pick our color.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the jinx.
The jinx there.
That's the jinx. We pick up, if Ahern lets us pick up the perfect blue for the painters.
Well, fortunately, it has to stay in green.
And it got a little bit tint of blue.
Technically, the reason they keep it green, I asked that question asked James Torres Friday. Why we have to keep everything in one color, because it
Yeah.
technically because where they're using now a new kind of paint, they're also trying to keep the flooding clean.
The what?
Flood, you know, when like, when it's, when we had the
By
sandy.
color, by
The
pigmentation?
color, because sometimes
Okay.
it ate the paint up. And they have to, yes.
They can be pink exactly. So let me ask you a question.
That's a good one.
How is going to be coinciding with the summer season and people coming into the Coney Island? I was just worrying about the
Well,
timeline
the-
of the project to
And the
be.
work that's doing there, right?
Yeah,
So, well, right now, for the moment, there's nothing scheduled for at least June. So if things work out in terms of the contract and everything on the construction and development side,
Mhm.
may pick up and start in July, maybe.
Nice.
Because right now it's just, they have to complete the project and it's way over time.
No, I understand.
So, but I think what you're getting at is if there's gonna be any potential shutdown and no line
Yes,
running in,
yes. And a lot of-
they will definitely avoid that. I know I've been talking with Eddie and I didn't get the schedule again from the
I know.
Coney Island Alliance, but
They're changing
what I'm
things,
doing
yeah,
is working
yeah.
off last year's schedule
Yeah.
and modifying some of the dates based off of schedule, upcoming events. We know we're in season, so, and I did have a week, we do have a bi-weekly check-in with our track team. Just to update us about upcoming projects and track work. I did share that information with them, so they are going to do as minimum as possible to be disruptive during the summer season, because we realize Coney Island has a lot happening. So they would like to
I
lessen the
will
work.
appreciate notification because last weekend there was no train running and we had no notification on weekend.
I remember that one. I happened to be out of town and we was taking them.
Yeah,
So I
it was-
realized that. And I
Everybody
know.
was surprised, like we didn't get, I mean, somebody noticed the posting at the train station, but like there was no.
Yeah,
notification.
more that definitely for this year. for sure.
Especially with that new law that was something coming that we decrease the notification time from 30 to 7 days, that would be.
Oh,
Right.
you're talking about the Colton?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. It will violate that proposal, that law really fast. So that, and also just as a wish list, please ask the new company be a little bit more, how to say, considerate.
Mhm.
Because last year they flooded our exit to the train station with their cars. I know the MTA put the boulders, we really appreciated that. So let them just stay within and don't block the entrance to the train, because that was a really big
Yes,
deal.
you are.
I know you guys addressed that, but we don't want them boulders to be reinstalled and people moving their cars, so people will just be trying to get to the station.
And also another thing, there is a storage of materials.
Yes.
So we have a storage of materials next to the train station entrance, which a big sign, something like explosive. It's such an invitation to the teenagers, like, come on, explore. It's like, just if that's explosive or dangerous for life, maybe it should be like a little bit away, not in your face, not in the
Yeah,
way.
well, lay down areas where materials are sort of, that's a.
Because we have so much space there, like under the trusses, like away from.
Well, they do, supposed to have. From the substation area, they're supposed to have an area back there for their storage material for the work they're doing, so it's not visible to the general public or anyone else to come
Especially
in.
with the big sign, what does it say? It's not explosive, it's
No,
like
no,
a.
I actually asked the person who was going inside that shed. I said, what is this going inside? Because it says lead and you know,
Something
something
really
that's
bad.
dangerous. And it's like a shed. I said, what is this here? He said, oh, we just store all the refuse there because as it is, it's considered to be that it might contain lead. That's why we store it there. And there's like a big lock there, but I'm afraid that one of these days that lock is gonna get going and that somebody will open that shed and live in there because it's like a shed, a little house there's there. Because I asked the person
Summer
who,
house.
yeah, but just asking, what is there inside? Something like dangerous for people? No, it's just refuse to put inside because it could be lead. So we just have to lock it somehow.
Just a suggestion, I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
bother.
right by the station. It's
Got
just people could get there as it is, you know?
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next.
Yes, the next one here, status on the temporary protective mesh barrier West 8. So we have heard from yesterday, a contractor that has put out some preliminary sketch designs of the work that they're going to do. So that came in, our team in Maintenance Way are going to do some reviewing. I will be, we're reviewing internally, so to say, and we'll be reaching out to both the senator's office, Senator Spanton's office, and the board. But we want to work with the elected office primarily, so we can at least get them on board because we know they've been requesting, in addition to the community as well.
Do
To
you have
get this
funding for
done.
that?
There is a cost associated
Yeah.
with this.
That's why I'm asking.
And so that's why we want to talk with the elected
Sure.
officials.
Be reasonable.
We don't
That's
have.
what they was asking. Please be reasonable. It's
Yeah,
not
right.
$2.5 million.
No, no, no,
Oh.
no. I will assure you that it's not that. So how when these things are done, then it has to work its way up the chain pole to the top. And that will be reviewed over. And then we will get something going. But I know time is an issue. We get the videos, and I know that one we saw, and that was sent. So the urgency is sort of there now. And that was also timely because when that was sent, that was also when we received the sketches for the potential build up for the protective barrier. Now it's just a matter of picking one, discussing with elected and getting the cost and finalizing and then getting it out to work.
Aside from Jessica Scarcella's Spanton office, which office would be appropriate to reach out to for possible funding? Let's say Alec Brook Krasny would be the one to ask for, or I think Vernikov is not because she's a city, but only could ask state officials to.
Sure,
help with
yeah.
that?
I think Alex Rossi will be a good person because him and I mentioned this to Anthony already, and I did mention to Eddie, I think Alex Rossi is agreed if you guys mention it to him.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
would you
okay.
include him into
Sure.
your communication, so we will be actually,
Definitely.
that we get some
And
tips
he
from him too.
I've
He
been
was part of it before, and
Yeah, he agrees.
then it's sort of like
Okay.
fell off the wagon. So if you could just put them back in.
I'll be on this few minutes.
I will reach out to him personally. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so we could move on to the next.
All right.
That's great news. Thank
All
you.
right. So, yeah, so
Now,
that's it.
now she can sleep tonight.
All right.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
You know, just
The
gotta.
parking lot people will be sleeping.
Well, this will be a quick one. Brooklyn bus redesign, still in the works. We hope to have something in the summer. Nothing new has come up yet, or in terms of where we're, other than that they're still internally
By new, you
revision,
mean
but
you didn't hear anything, right?
nothing, right,
Okay.
nothing has come up on it. Yeah,
Nothing.
so
And one
Yeah.
additional question I
Sure.
didn't add, I think we requested something for the cover at the Stillwell station. There was some bus stop or something that was flooded. I didn't, I know you weren't probably
Yeah,
prepared.
basically what happened is, when it rains, the tracks, in between the tracks, the water comes down over to the B-74. Yeah, and it's always, and the only thing is, yeah, right by the ram, you got it, right by the ram, and it's just when there's a heavy downpour. Regular rain, there's no problem, it's just a heavy down, all the water, it just happens to funnel down that, the shelter, the B-74, picked up. Yes, you can't miss it. No, it's the Q train. It's probably the Q train because it's in the middle. Yeah, going. No. Where it's dripping down into literally into the station. Yeah. 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 With the bus left on the 74. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, it's like you're underneath the shelter already, but then you still gotta have. I think we mentioned to Elon at the we mentioned to him, but I don't know how if he could solve it, because like you said, is when it's a heavy downpour, just the water comes funneling down that
Yeah.
section and it's just horrendous. Yeah.
So we don't have any more questions?
No,
Any-
except for
from
that.
Actually, I have another item here
Yeah.
that you guys
Yep.
schedule elevator escalator. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
on Neptune now.
We want Neptune.
No, we're
No, no,
talking
no,
about the new.
oh,
Neptune, the new
Yeah.
Neptune, the elevator first.
Yeah,
Elevator.
yeah, it's gonna be
Schedule.
right. Well, stay tuned on that. There may be
Yeah.
something coming there, what I'm
Oh.
hearing, but I can't confirm it yet. But Neptune Avenue, is part of the 2025-29 capital plan. We just got an announcement that they, and Eddie did come to
Yes,
speak
he
on
spoke.
favor of it, representing the community board for the ADA elevator. We're going to be having a meeting with the project team. It's going to be part of the whole called Package 8. Because it will be grouped in with 4 other stations.
Are we first? We want to know. That's all we want to know. Are we first out of the 4?
That means there are 4 stations.
Yes, 4 stations.
That will all be in this same package and it be work happen simultaneously with the, yeah, that's what it means. It's not like in the line.
First.
If you go on the train lines right now, stations, not just one station, there are a number of stations are being worked on.
Oh, yeah.
The reason that I emailed Barbara and Eddie, because they show you what they're doing in the Capitol, like on the 7 line, they're doing 33rd Street. They're showing, when I show Eddie and I sent this out and I asked Eddie to please forward it out, they're doing something that's new. They will rip the station, just like they did Kings Highway and Avenue I. They will bring the elevator thing in, not the elevator shell, but the bars with it, and they bring it in.
The shaft.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the shaft, thank you, the shaft. I was saying you're right, so thank you. The shaft, and they bring it down. But at the same time they do that, they have to shut the train down because
Yeah.
you can't run with power, metal and electricity do not mix. Because you have to be very careful, because when they bring it in, they're trying to get the work done, and they have to cut part of the platform to make it ADA accessible. For a wheelchair or a walker to go through, or like Barbara, who wants to get on, doesn't have to step on higher. And I'm using, for example, as a cane, you want to come in easy. So there is gonna be a time that stations like Neptune, which is an island, no, Eddie, cannot move anywhere else, it stays where it is.
Well, no, but
No, no,
but
and-
it's going to be new. Is it going to be a new station? That's the whole thing, because we know based on the deterioration of the station, why put a new elevator on an old existing, station?
It's they take the whole thing apart.
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
Because I know it's colleague Ruby and Kathleen will both tell you, if they will take the platform off because they have to put a whole new one in.
Yeah.
Like what they did on the Brighton. They take the whole thing apart, reframe it, because you gotta realize it has to be sturdy. And it has to be flood. Because
Yeah.
remember, Neptune isn't in sandy zone.
Yeah.
You're in the flood zone. They have to make sure it's an adjustment. And I took the sandy training, so. To do that, just like they did Sheepshead Bay, it's ready for any flood comes in. So you have to be really cautious what Neptune does, because if they have to close Neptune, they have to make sure it's fully accessible and safe.
All right, so with that, for Neptune Avenue,
Yes.
stay tuned, because we will be bringing, once they award the package and set, then we're gonna come before the community board, the transportation committee, to do a full presentation. And then they'll let this know, so we can we'll give full details of the work that's gonna be done at that station, prior to any work starting. So,
And my last question, we discussed at some point that the new cars that you implement on the B Express, when they're gonna come to the queue, that will help with the noise too.
well, they are now, we just put in a new order as part of also with the capital plan for order of new cars. So once they come in, then they will divvy up which lines they will serve, like
About
or the queue.
distribution, right?
Right, it's
So we don't know
1,000
yet.
of them that.
And when they
They're coming little by little.
Yeah, maybe a year,
They're
about a
coming
year or
So
two.
within a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
much
have to
problem.
right now, we have to get rid of the R46s that are still right here right now and pray that each one of them dies. It makes it easier to get rid of them faster. But just to remind you, you do have 68 and the 68, no, the 68A is part of Kawasaki. But what Anthony's talking about is the R262s, the A division, which is number lines. They're gonna be getting them soon. But we are getting new R211s because you're all getting the fresh new ones here before the A, even the A has. So.
Chris, you talk in a foreign language to me.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Anthony, for your presentation and your update. We really appreciate it.
So I wanna talk about,
So Angela has some presentation that
yeah,
she made.
presentation about noise, what we're making noise about, and part of this presentation includes the reports that MTA was doing since 2022 about the noise reports, and we were not able to discuss reports with the representatives who are assembling those reports, so we decided to do our own interpretation. How do we understand these reports? What's done? What's projected? What's going to be done? But before we get to this, what is this all noise about and where it started? We didn't start it. It started 50 years ago.
Angela, I'm really sorry. Anthony, is somebody on the construction site is joining us or they're not there? I'm not really sure. You mentioned that they will be there.
Did the invite, I did not get to come.
Do you see anybody there? But in case, okay, so Angela will make a
No,
presentation.
I'll
Okay.
make a presentation,
Yeah.
so
But
at least people on the committee
Right,
understand.
and
what
general
is it.
public.
Can we go back to?
Yes, let me get
It was right there.
Yes, I know. There we go.
You got it.
Okay, for some reason I can't, yeah. So, 1977, right, back 50 years ago, almost, right, that was a, activist, Carmine Santa Maria, who passed away just recently. I even didn't know that, the gentleman was alive. Definitely meet him, but what in 1987, he was living next to the Coney Island transit yards, and he heard the screeching noise. He make a record, he complained, and that's how we got lubrication in, because of complaint of Carmen Santa Maria. So 50 years of lubrication, it's still screeches.
Okay.
Better sometimes, but okay, so back to 2020, Stop the Noise Group, local residents got to advocate that because screeching is still there. Screeching is there, so the group of advocated to do something about it. And former Assemblywoman Matilde Fontos introduced the bill, introduced the bill. It became a law 12048. That's why MTA is now given a report of what is it doing about noise, and I believe that's the reason why we have all those replacements of the brakes. What else we have? We replaced the rails to longer rails. All this done because of that
Wilson.
bill. And the wheels, right. So, okay, so what is the noise? How much noise is truly harmful? So we're talking about, look at the orange and red. So 80 decibels, it's a truck, right? 70 is a car, and we're going to 90. But just to give you an idea, the people on the terraces around the train, their noise is above 100. It's more than on the platform. Why? Because of the canyon effect. The noise from the train escapes, it bounces off the buildings, of the towers. It's right.
Like echo.
Like echo, it bounces off, and it's like a helicopter, right? It's like a helicopter on the train, and it's day and night. It's just, it doesn't stop and anything. So how dangerous is this? Well, OSHA, right? That's referred to the OSHA because that's what MTA is referring to. What is safe? So 85 decibel is basically a limit for 8 hours. So we have it 24/7. we don't have it for 8 hours, we exposed to it 24/7, and it's more than 85. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter because we're on time, but he's like a peaks that's at the Y. Y, it's this literal Y that's referring when F train makes turn, it goes to 102 decibels. Okay, let's go next. It's from Emma. So those, all the reports that were done in 2016, 17, and again, if somebody is interested in technical details, we can give you those presentations, but you see the number are quite high, like in 2016, 17, 18, and then in 22, there was some work done. They started lubricating again, and it came a little bit down, but still in 90s, which is by OSHA and by World Health Organization. It's damaging, and it's damaging. What it does, not only hearing loss, it's also stress, fatigue, it's concentration for the kids. And let's not forget, we have elementary school, PS 100, that's also affected by this noise. Okay, 2003 reports. Let's skip because I have comparison. Let's go. So, that was done in 2003. Installation of receiver. The rail fastener, wheel dampeners, wheel through and rail lubrication. And then let's go. Hold on 1 second. The station environment. Okay, why I emphasize this? That's in the study, MTA study, concluded that the station environment benefits from almost all noise treatments. Why? Because noise escapes from the station. When you stop it at the station, that is most effective. Okay, let's go. Okay, so lubrication 2024, that's when it happened to electric, switching from mechanical lubrication to electric, and that's the system. And that's the system that is staying on the rail. You could see sometimes, I saw those boxes on the rail, and it was done in 2024. So it's supposed to be working for 2 years already. I mean, at least for 1 year. It's supposed to diminish the noise by at least 10 decibels. And when we say in decibels, it's progressive. So the difference between 80 decibels and 40 decibels in 10,000 of energy units. So let's go next. I don't want to say about OSHA, all this study, how it affects the noise. Okay, 2023 versus 2024. That's what we received from UML. I compare it, and the difference is after all this lubrication, it's only 1 decibel. Really, all we got is 1 decibel. So, okay, let's go next. Okay, so there is no measurable, and those comments, my comments, that from MTA, no measurable noise reduction was detected at location 1. There doesn't seem to be much difference in measured noise levels. Measurements were taken with flagman present, meaning trains were likely moving much slower than normal. So who knows, if the flagman wasn't there, it probably would be the same.
No, our super actually noticed that they were doing the transform. I could feel that how the flagman, when he said the trains were moving
Right.
very slow.
So we do appreciate all the work, all the investment, but we don't see the difference yet. So this is what we call the mass of best case failure. So now let's see what the goal is, right? So we right now at 90. Let's say that works. Something happens and we measure and it's 10 decibels lower. We're still at 80. We need to be at 42. At 42 by MTA standard. We're not gonna get there. It doesn't matter how much you will lubricate those rails, it's not getting to 42. And this gap is not going to be covered even at the best case scenario. So those numbers that not for Coney Island, those numbers I understand that total for entire work on MTA, those millions of dollars, they're not invested in our rails, I hope. But they're big numbers, they're projected. So what is planned? And we're going back to saying, please make a pilot program. Look what is done in Chicago. Look at the station with acoustical enclosure. Why we're talking about Chicago? That's the same 100-year-old elevated train structure. So when they were doing it, they didn't touch the existing structure. They didn't use it as a foundation. They built around it, and they were pretty successful. So that structure can reduce the noise by 40 decibel. It's lightweight, it's transparent, it's the panels, and it could be used in any different parts of the other elevated train station. But okay, let's go next one to show one. So when we estimated a few years ago, and we find the person who did the estimate for MTA for MTA in
CTA. Those CTA Transit Authority.
no. We asked, we found somebody local who was the estimator for extension on the Harlem line. And okay, so we estimated to cover everything like Y to cover Y and extend it all the way, I think, to PS 100 to the school, right? It will get like 50 million, 50. And this number bigger that I was given. We were given smaller number. I double it because 2 years passed, who knows what passed. But that's with everything, all the work. It will be no closure for the train, only for 2 weekends. That was done in Chicago, only 2 weekends. And it's used for structure. They use modular materials, special acoustical materials. Again, those are details. Let's go next. So, and that's what we're asking, right? We're asking, please make the pilot program, because even if you succeed, it fails to bring it down to 40 decibel. The making acoustical enclosure, at our opinion, that's the only way. And not only that, it will be good for the neighborhood and for the economy. It will good for MCA because the space under the train would be used for commercial leases, for parking. So if we can do for the next step, if we can have a, if we can have a, what is it, a commission on acoustical enclosure feasibility study, can we have just that? Just to have a study to say, okay, that's a possibility, just open up and to keep open up to this idea and how much it could be done. And you can have a revenues.
MTA for transit, was this on the study?
Yes, yeah.
Did it go to the MTA?
No, that's what I asked.
I mean, I don't have any, I mean, we can just do it to papers.
There is not electric officials for sure.
I mean, but it brings your revenue. If you enclose it, you can use space under for parking, you can use space under for commerce, for anything. And trust me, Brighton Beach, Coney Island area, that's not cheap. You can get.
Is this proposed for the West Eighth Station?
Yes.
For the study?
Not so much for just West 8 station, but she's talking about that Y, that one that goes from
That's why that we're talking
goes
about.
from
You're right.
Yeah.
I can make a proposal for Brighton Beach too, but that's
Okay.
The private would be- that's-
Right, but West Eighth will be the art destination for that station.
Again.
So you
The art
see how
again, yes,
we're
the art,
Okay.
going
yes.
through it with the
Okay.
meshing and how
Sure.
that,
Mhm.
so any alteration to that station, to that particular station, West Eighth, is going to be a Herculean effort, to say the least.
So we have
But
to remove
what I
the
hear, I'm
status
just
first.
I'm interested in your proposal because this is the first I'm seeing it, so. If you share it with me, I will definitely take it back to the higher ups and.
Anthony, she made a very interesting, like a table for all this capital spending.
Yeah.
And this $50 million will be dropped in a bucket to what you already spent on these trucks. Replacement and lubrications and little fasteners to
Yeah.
to this, that, and the wheels and everything else, and it doesn't
And
work.
it's not for nothing. I'm sure, I believe it works and it brings it down, but it's not gonna make that big of difference. I mean, we didn't hear it. Let's hear tonight. You say it's done, maybe.
Maybe you
there's-
send it to Anthony, the whole presentation, the
Yeah,
updated
that's
version of
perfect.
it, at least, and we could send it to board of MTA if you'd like to, us to. Why
and
not?
we can, yeah.
I think last time I remember when I saw something like this, I did say to you guys, and I know, remember Nick said, send this to the board.
But we have been proposing it for.
Yeah, back then.
For a long
Way
time, but
back
I'd
then,
say
way
maybe
back
to
then.
the head of the board. I personally give it to some MTA officials and everybody brushed.
And you guys are. Meeting.
Yes,
Then.
let's try a small step, like in that. The seat's working, so now let's.
Working.
Thanks to the, that's the Senator's office as well. So, but I think we should, in all seriousness, I think we should send it to the board and let them consider it. Maybe for not this capital improvement, but the following at least, it may be considered at least a study or
But
something.
because study pilot is not 50 million, pilot is like fraction of it, just to study what's what, because we have 10,000 people live inside, so 10,000 people affected by it, and elementary school. Plus, if you do this, you bring commerce to this area. This area, there's not many commercial spots.
We also could include actually we investigated who actually did it in Chicago, so we could include the reference.
Yeah, I
of-
spoke with the project manager.
we
I got
have-
so much.
They were very interested. They MTA invites us. to part of the study. Remember how we said?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, thank
Hope
you
it was
for sharing.
educational. Yes, Darren. Darren.
Yeah, so my question is, because the thing is that, they have me paying with my balance on my card. So my question is that how we going to reduce on the card by using a half there?
The reduced fare Omni?
Yes.
This is a different question.
Yes.
Well, he has it maybe under.
Right.
Reduction of
But-
that.
Okay, so you wanna focus on, so what you're paying right now, you wanna use the reduced fare Omni for like riding the bus or the train?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and you wanna know how to get that, or just, I wanna be able to answer your question.
How get there? How we going to reduce half on that's my question.
Reduced fare.
Mhm.
You want me to-
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Chris, because I know it's,
I can answer that question, because I've been at resource fair all day today with that question. Right now, did you have a reduced fare card with you? Okay.
he wants to reduce fare.
You want to sign up for it.
Yes.
The only way you can do that, he has to get the application. As I last time, remember, I mentioned this to you years ago, Terrence, and I asked you, did you get the application?
Maybe help him with application?
Yeah, and the only thing is, if once it's printed out and it's sent, he has to get a disability one, just so everyone know, and Zoom knows. For disability, you have to make sure you have a copy of your, and if he has a Medicare card, then he has to get it. If he doesn't have that, it's a psychological testing, doctor's note.
Mhm.
The psychological covers the disability of that person's disability. Once he has all that proof, then you can bring it to a reduced fare vehicle, wherever borough. And once he gets that and it's all complete and it's all good, he will get the Omni card. Seniors is easy, because once you're 65 and you have to prove the ID, you can get it at any customer service center.
Could he come downstairs and Stillwell station? This
Customer service center, he can go there as well, but just gonna remind you, if he has a Medicare card, the answer will be a grand slam. Means he can get it, but the documents are different for a disability than against a senior.
Can somebody consult him with that, what documents he needs specifically? Can somebody work with him to help him?
Yeah.
with
That's
that
what comes-
process?
Yeah, and the customer, there are customer service center staffs there, they do assist
They
you,
could try.
and the reduced fare staff, when, we still have them. And they still, so they do come here, because I know he doesn't live in Brooklyn, he lives in another borough.
Bronx.
The Bronx.
The
Yeah, you have a lot
He
of
came
the
all the way
Bronx.
down in the Bronx. I know.
Yeah, that's.
Every day.
Yeah, it's now with Demetrius.
Yes.
Right.
Explain to him where to go. I don't know if he went, because I remember, Barbara, you printed out the application last time.
Trying to do that again.
Yeah, just go to, yeah. Actually, good, I think I carry the QR code. But since I have the mentioning Omni, Anthony has something, we have to correct something on one of the sheets. The Long Island Railroad.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna take those back. Long Island Railroad.
Oh no, what happened?
It's
They
the wrong
had their
date.
date.
Oh.
Mine is
They
correct.
they had to take the.
That's the wrong strike.
Game on there.
I'm gonna take those back.
And I'm gonna
Oh,
correct one
we gotta
here.
take this one.
The QR code, just so
No,
you know.
no,
Yeah.
They want to know in Zoomland, yes, it will affect you in one way in the area, because if Long Island Railroad, if goes in strike, and I'm gonna say this word, if. I want that clear on the record, I say if. That means people will be driving, and they do give people stationed. Sheepshead Bay is one. All of a sudden, people might come over here, so I'm gonna make a note, we did not tell them to come over here, they did it on their own. But I am gonna remind everyone, that means every train on the subway from Queens to Brooklyn and all the boroughs will have more customers higher than usual.
Right.
That means Accessoride will be delayed. All MTA buses in the other boroughs will be delayed, including the downtown Brooklyn buses.
Okay,
So
already received that work also.
Yeah, we'll be
notifications with
sending
that.
notifications if that.
all I can say is
happens.
try to listen very cautiously what the news is saying, but check with MTA's page.
Hopefully they will resolve the issue before it
Your
goes
mouth
to
got
the-
you. But I did give a copy to Eddie, so Eddie, can you please make sure they have the correct?
I think it's Sunday, no? Sunday.
Oh,
Saturday.
Anthony, also people are complaining, I heard from seniors, that they have an issue with the Omni card to fill it out online using their credit cards. They say that there's some kind of, I know, something going on, technical glitch, yeah, so they
Yeah.
cannot, certain card cannot be filled, so if you could look into that.
Sure.
A lot of seniors are complaining about that.
Yeah, I have been receiving. Once I used to get a lot more on the Staten Island side. There's been a glitch with Cubic. So just, if you receive them, send them to me, and I will send it over to the Omni team, and they can get that corrected. Because I know there's issues with balance, people have put money on it, I personally have seen it, where they put money, $40 in the card, and they go up to it, and it's not working. Or as soon as it, yeah.
The customer
Yeah,
service
yeah.
and very, very discouraging for people.
Yeah,
But we thank you for your presentation, answering all the questions, your patience with us. And I think that we went, it's a lot of progress and we're
yeah,
hoping
we're
that we
making
continue.
steps.
We're making steps,
Yeah.
we're fighting, but now we're working together, so
Yeah.
it's very nice. We thank you for all your efforts. All your efforts to bring it to the board, and also you promised at one point that you said that we got approval for the camera on the West State Station. Remember how you said that they approved the camera? Okay.
Putting them up there,
It would be nice
but-
if they put it,
Yeah.
because I spoke to police. Valley,
Yeah,
here in Valley,
yeah,
very nice lady, I mean,
Yeah.
I just want to make an accommodation, this is the best police officer.
Very
She is so
That's it.
very compassionate,
yeah.
so she said that if the stations will be having the cameras, they will contact the special operation team, and they will be able to track the violators
Mhm.
through that, but they
Yeah.
need the cameras. So we
Right.
would appreciate the speeding up on that as well. I mean, as many stations would have it, would be great, our station included, but I know for ours, you already have an approval, but all the stations really need the video cameras. For those people, because
Yeah.
she said that it's not only on the West 8 station, also on the Ocean Parkway station.
Yes.
It's really bad situation, they're harassing the person who works in the booth. She is afraid to go inside the booth. They putting, the teenagers are harassing her. They smoking pot right into her thing. They throw bottles on her. I mean, the lady is like afraid to go to work. So that's on Ocean, that's what
Ocean Parkway.
Officer Bala told me. So that's on Ocean Parkway Station and also on Brighton Beach and also on Chesapeake Bay. I don't know if it's the same group of teenagers, but it's like they travel in cabs and they're they expanding their reach to what you saw on the videos that we send you. They're doing the same on 4 or 5 stations. It'd be great if those stations will be included in the cameras and things like that. Because she said that quality of live team is working on that and also special operations.
Yeah.
They're trying to deal with those teenagers. So we appreciate that. If you could put it, you could put it on your list to speed up the cameras. But yes, and especially that poor lady on the Ocean Parkway Station.
I'm trying to send it right now.
So we appreciate your update. If anybody have any new business or old business.
This announcement that we have, is that this Saturday is what we're gonna have. Don't drive and don't go out if you don't need to
Yeah.
until at least after 12 noon, because it's crazy. Two now, okay. Yeah, it's just crazy. Traffic is just
That's Sunday. or Saturday?
Saturday, this Saturday, so, yeah. Yep. Trains are fine, just the buses are gonna be crazy.
What's happening
Sure.
Saturday?
Saturday is a Brooklyn Half Marathon. It ends here in Coney Island at Steeplechase Park, parking lot, and all of Ocean Parkway is gonna be closed until at least 12 noon. And, that means no cross traffic, across, Ocean Parkway. So be careful when driving. Okay,
Anybody wants to follow up on a new business, old business?
that's it.
So could we make a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Motion,
Anybody
Motion.
second there?
there goes Barbara motion. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate, I think we got right on time at 9,
Yeah.
right on
very
the
good.
dot, at time.